This one's probably going to be a short one. These are not meditations, dude. But it's not on time or anything, dude. But I will get this in order. And actually, I'll turn this into something great. I'm optimistic about it. I can see it. I feel really good. I feel extremely energetic. Hold on, I have to get this. This thing's bothering me. This is one of my problems, dude. You know, people are like, oh, OCD, OCD. Even when it's not OCD, it's just you want things to like be in order. Not like, you know what I mean. I don't want to explain this. There's like a thing stuck in my seat, like my. Hold up. I have to use this to get it out. I tried using scissors. I have to use this. Scissors won't work because scissors pushes it in deeper. So you can see how annoying this thing it actually is. I don't want to go into details and explain it, but take my word for it. I gotta get this done. Hold up 1 second. I got it. What do I? Okay, hold up, hold up. This is actually stupid that these kinds of things bother me, but really want to like cut these, but these videos. That was really stupid that I like felt the need to do that, but yeah, I feel, aside from like reminders of how weak I am in many aspects like that, I feel really good. Every single day that goes by, I'm getting more done than I did the previous day. Substantially more. And I feel it's sustainable, at least for the time being. Obviously, nothing is sustainable forever, but sustainable enough. But the reason why I wanted to hop on here was I saw this TikTok, and I gotta stop going on TikTok, man. It's exposure to the wrong things. Like, you really can't blame people for all the like red pill stuff and all that when they get exposed to that kind of stuff. They get exposed to those truths. They get exposed to the world where those kinds of things are true. And then people go like, "Oh, real life isn't like that." Yeah, you'll find endless examples of like women having double standards, women just straight up hating men, things like that, reasons to hate women. If you go looking for it, if that's what the content you're engaging with, you will find endless stuff. So it's really difficult to blame someone if they don't understand the simple concept that there's just too many people in the world. Anything you go out looking for, you will find. I really gotta stop going on TikTok, but I came across this video.
Found that male.
What's your biggest thing in a guy? What's your biggest?
I hate when my phone does that. I press a button, I press either of the volume buttons, and it goes all the way. I'm like, dog, I just pressed it.
Like when they.
So this
What's your
guy.
biggest thing in a guy?
So this guy asks, "What's your biggest ick in a guy?"
What's your biggest thing in a guy?
Like when they.
Say it. Say it.
No.
Run it.
That was so mean. I was gonna say if they're like really nice.
To all of you watching here, come close to the screen and listen. People don't have to like you. People don't have to love you. They don't even have to respect you. But when you look in the mirror, you better love what you see.
People who immediately respond to your text are not desperate. People who immediately respond to your call are not desperate. People who are always there for you when you need them are not always free or jobless. Maybe they understand how it feels to be ignored. Maybe they know what it feels like to be left alone. Because maybe they were left alone when they needed someone. Maybe they love you. Maybe they made you their priority. Never take them for granted, please. Never lose them. They are gold.
What's your biggest thing in a guy?
Who is that guy, bro? I gotta subscribe to him. The guy who made that last clip. TikTok being too real lately. And then look at this. Wait, people don't like when you answer their text right away. It's like, yeah, it gives them the ick. It's crazy how people don't see this stuff. But then it's like, is it my problem that the algorithm caters that kind of content to me because it knows that kind of content hooks me? Is it actually my problem that I'm being exposed to that stuff? And like, yeah, to a certain extent, yeah, but aside from the analysis, right, which is what I'll do anyways, I was being mindful, more mindful than usual, rather. I'm being more mindful regularly, just throughout the day, just from this. It's like changed dramatically, actually. And I'm like, I have to stop and like think about this for a second. maybe it's a better idea to just stop thinking, but maybe I shouldn't go so far. It's like, I don't know what to make of this. Like, it's like motivational, right? But it keeps people on the platform. The first clip is depressing, as all of them are. As all the clips where any girl's talking about her ick like that in public, like trying to get that kind of reaction, taking that as her opportunity to go like, oh, maybe this is my Haktua moment and I can get famous and I can have like a million guys at my disposal and find someone who's like creme de la creme or whatever, and they'll immediately try to put on this show of confidence as if they deserve the absolute best. So screw all the other guys and any guy who's even slightly less than perfect, hoping to somehow convince the guys that are maybe perfect, that are watching it just by sheer numbers, to be convinced and go after them. Very psychopathic way to look at it, but then there's like the actual understanding of those ideas. No perfect guy is watching it. No perfect guy is a perfect... Good men are made, not born, you know? That's like the slogan for... That should be like the slogan for world peace. Is the clip really motivational? Because they went ahead and showed that first one. They introduced the problem to then solve it. Why introduce the problem in the first place? Any video that has Subway Surfers or anything like that, Minecraft parkour or some GTA 5 car, always messing up and like never landing clean, which is so stupid. Why show those clips? You literally have TAS Subway Surfers where they avoid the coins. How can you not land this? Like, what dumbass is driving in all these GTA videos? But any of those videos that has to have that on the side, you can pretty consistently, like, confidently say, okay, they don't have good intentions when posting this stuff, whatever it might be. Even if it seems like it should be for like a good purpose, they're doing it for the views. And if the views and the money wasn't there, then they wouldn't be doing it. They don't have a positive ulterior motive for their business. Otherwise, it would just be straight clips. No distractions. I had more questions about that TikTok. I had more, oh, what do I make of it type things. I'm not able to think of them right now. It like hit me a lot harder the first time I saw that. That's why I felt like doing this. But I think going forward, I'm pretty much always going to have bullet points, things I want to talk about, things from like an audiobook that I'm reading, like whatever's on my mind. I think this is my opportunity to share it, really. This is just streams of consciousness again. I used to make these videos, streams of consciousness videos. They would go on this channel. They would go on the LaFrog channel. They're all gone. I still have some of them, like in a drive. Here's one thing this has got to be really humble. No one's going to watch this. But even if people do watch it, this has got to be like a really humble thing. I think this is my chance to really have humility. Because I'm not paying for a fucking therapist, dude. That might be content. If a shrink lets me record her, then I'll do it. But I wrote down in my notes, like just notes of like things to like reflect on and stuff like that. I'm like, why do I overpromise and underdeliver so much? That's literally all I wrote. I wrote that exact sentence, just in a one note by itself. I don't know what I was referring to in that moment. That was weeks ago. But I was supposed to like reflect on that. I don't even know what the hell I was talking about. Like what specifically. I do that. I do that. Even with these like because I'm like, oh, if I come every time I come to sleep over, I'll sleep over from now on. I'm not just gonna like dip out. But then it's like, damn, I feel like leaving, you know. And I always leave at like 3-4 a.m. when they go to sleep. I leave because I'm like, I got shit to do. I want to sleep at home so I can wake up in my own time, in my own domain. I have everything I need. I have all my gear. I have my computer here. I have all this like food and all this stuff. I have my headphones here. I have my PC. I have this giant water bottle, which is like super useful, which I need to clean actually. I have all my camera gear. I have my gym gear. I have my shoes here. I have an ab wheel rollout thing. Like, I have creatine here. I got a lot of stuff here. I got my stuff here. I want to be here to like get stuff done efficiently. So why the hell am I constantly going like, oh no, I'll be there. I want to like, am I just a people pleaser? They want me to come to the sleepovers, and I want to like tell them like, hey bro, I got you. I'll come to the sleepovers. I have this TMJ issue too. It like pops in and out of place. It actually hurts. Who the fuck am I supposed to see about that? Every like dentist that I've been to in the past like 10 years, to be honest with you, it hasn't been very many because I don't go to the dentist. Or any like medical professional of any kind actually, and the reason why is because every time I go back they always say some bullshit. Always, every single time. They don't have my best interest at heart. They're not looking out for me. They're looking out for keeping me going there as long as possible, giving them as much money as possible. The last time I went, I was like, I want Invisalign, and they're like, okay. It was like casual conversation in the office, in like their office, and they're like getting some like the X-ray scan in, and they're just talking. They're like, yeah, I forgot how it comes up, but they're like, yeah, you know, this kind of thing just happens. We don't really know how it happens. It's like, really? You don't know? You don't know? You haven't seen the studies that I've seen that show that indigenous populations that don't even brush their teeth all have perfect teeth? They don't need to have their wisdom teeth removed? You didn't ever stop to consider the fact that like maybe 95% of the world, maybe not 95, maybe like 85% of the world, or 90% of the world, 90, I think 90 is the most, is as accurate as I'm going to get, with just a guess. Maybe 90% of the world cannot afford a multi-$1,000 surgery to have teeth removed. There needs to be a anesthesiologist present to make sure that they're completely under. Like maybe the rest of the world cannot do this. So what is it really worth it? Like maybe we should consider the fact that like, is there some other factor at play that is making us not able to effectively use our wisdom teeth, and maybe we should look into those factors? But and they know this stuff. I know they know this stuff. How the hell do you go into a profession and not know this stuff? If you're truly passionate about it, you would look for these things and you would tell people these things, and you would explore and discover and innovate, and you would be curious and all that stuff. But if you're just looking for money, you're going to try to convince people that this is a problem that's going to happen to everyone, and even though it's not. They literally convinced my parents in their 40s to have their wisdom teeth removed. In their 40s. And my parents were stupid enough to let them. I know. Oh, they didn't know. They came from India, where everyone is a lot more trusting, where you could actually like walk outside on the streets, where like people would like go away from home, get on the bus for like 2 hours, drive to some other city. The adults over there in the other city will be like, oh, where are your parents and all that stuff. Like everyone's like looking out for each other. You don't have to worry about being kidnapped by like a sex trafficking ring or whatever, like how you do in America, you know? There aren't all these like conspiracy theories. There aren't all these like white picket fences in between brick wall, in between drywall, in between a specific set of lawn that only I'm allowed to touch, and everyone is so secluded all the time. They come from that environment. They never could have expected that maybe people over here are just cold and heartless and ruthless, and maybe they're raised in that environment. Maybe they're born into an environment where they're losing by default. And so they have no incentive, no reason to actually be good to others when others are not being good to them. My parents are not vigilant about it. They did not need to get their wisdom teeth removed. They didn't need to. They were in their 40s. It did not hurt. They had perfect teeth. It was integrated into their teeth perfectly well. It turns out if you eat meat on the bone, like chicken with the bones, you chew on the bones, that should generally be enough, I feel. If you're living a natural lifestyle enough to where that's happening on a regular basis, you're gnawing on the bone a little bit, getting that extra flavor out. You know, the bone marrow is called nulli in Hindi or whatever. That's like my brother's favorite thing in all of Indian food is to take the fork, they usually like blow it out of it, but he takes the fork, he takes the back of the fork, pokes the like all the bone marrow out of the bone and then eats the bone marrow. That's like dessert for him. I was never that much of a fan of it, but I understand it's very flavor dense. I could be a fan of it. I could if I tried, if I wanted to, if I ate it a bit more regularly. I just never got into it as a kid. But my dad actually doesn't just eat the bone marrow. He eats the bone. He chews, breaks apart, and eats the bones. Which sounds crazy to a lot of people, but it's actually like, you talk to Indians, it's like, yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people from childhood just like felt like doing that, and they grow up and they get used to doing that. These people have no problems with their teeth. They don't need a dentist. They don't need an orthodontist. They don't need Invisalign or braces or anything to like keep their teeth in check. They don't need to get their wisdom teeth removed. Yet these people fooled them anyways into getting it removed anyways. They were not prepared for this culture. What was my original point? I really went off track with that one. Oh, TMJ issues. Who the hell do I go to? Because these people are not trustworthy. Because the last people I went to for Invisalign were not trustworthy. I just want people that actually like give a crap about what they're doing. How hard is it to find that? American dream, people. Where are all the people that are chasing their dreams? My kids are not going to need to have their wisdom teeth removed. I've only done a lick of research, but it's common sense that you shouldn't need to have your wisdom teeth removed because the majority of the world cannot afford that kind of surgery. They don't even know that kind of surgery exists. So obviously you don't need to have it removed. So I'm going to do the research and I'm going to consult people and figure it out when the time comes, and I'm going to make sure that I'm prepared and my kids are going to be eating the right foods and breathing the right way and having the right posture and doing whatever they got to do to make sure they don't have to go through the same bullshit traps that they that my parents allowed me to go through by just throwing me to the sharks without actually dipping their own toes in the water first of American culture and then just letting me be raised by school rather than them raising me, you know? Holy shit, I'm not about to trauma dump on fucking on video like this. On YouTube. I'm posting this on YouTube. I'm not gonna not post them. But the TMJ thing is very much it is a problem you can solve with money. It is like at a certain point, I can talk to UFC doctors if I'm connected to Dana White, which I might be at some point because of this VPN. It'll lead me down both the piracy route and the sports betting route into those two niches, and then Kick, Stake, online gambling. They need a VPN for that because it's not allowed in certain states or even the entire United States for different things. And then Stake, Kick, sports betting, piracy. All these avenues are auxiliary. They all surround, they're all deeply connected, intertwined with the UFC, and also so many streamers that I planned on collaborating with, that I plan on sponsoring, also go to these UFC events. And also politics. Donald Trump goes to all these. There's a lot of things that will lead me to the UFC. So like, and they got They have to have good doctors. They have to. Their whole, like, the elite fights that they have depend on, like, the eliteness staying at the level that it's at. Sustained greatness of the fighters can only happen if they're on top of things with their medical staff, and they are. Dana trusts the doctors with the life of his kids. When his daughter got injured and she was like 2,000 kilometers away and across the United States in like a totally different state, and he got the call from his wife, he didn't call like 911. He called the UFC doctors, because he has the best. He has people that like actually know what the fuck they're doing, like actual innovators who have like who run shit, who have labs, who are getting grants, who are able to like explore and like do what they get to do. They go through their obligations of being a UFC doctor, and then they get to do what they want to do as well, which is explore the endeavor further, go on the cutting edge of the field, and push the boundaries. So it's like they fixed Trickus's nose. I have the same problem. If I breathe through my nose normally, that's how loud I sound. I'm a mouth breather because I broke my nose when I was little. There was a fracture, didn't grow in properly. Now it looks like this. People used to say I had a really perfect, like really small nose. Now it's like it's almost like Jewish nose, you know, almost. But dude, they could fix my nose. But that's one example. There's obviously there's elite doctors in Germany. The point I'm trying to say is this is a problem. Like the TMJ, all that stuff. These are problems that money can fix. Money can fix these things. So I'm not stressing about it. The money will come. But earlier that I don't even remember what I was talking about when I wrote that note. Why do I overpromise and underdeliver? Is it a problem that I overpromise, or is the problem that I underdeliver? Am I delivering at the rate that I could be? There is no could. There's only will. I did deliver at the rate that I did. So all factors at play. Maybe this is the best I could do. I'm getting better. And I feel very energetic. Not in like a hyper way, but like a I feel in control of my focus. Not when thinking, obviously. I don't know if I'm ever going to be in control of that. I think I'm doomed forever to just speak in tangents about the tangents of what I was talking about. And I feel like I'm already losing a grip on what I was talking about just now. But I feel as though there's going to be a massive rift between me and my peers in terms of overall energy and confidence. Of course, I'll never be a athlete. I have like it's been like a couple months and I can't turn my head left all the way. It's like some like pinching pain in some vein. I've had these issues for so long where it's like veins have crossed over because I have this hip misalignment which has caused scoliosis, and there's not much I could do about it now. I'm 24, you know? And I'm like trying to like do the massages and then cold and then the heat and then all that stuff to like realign things back up, you know? Let it align itself again naturally in a non-invasive way, you know? I have too many health problems to be like a physical specimen. But I feel as though I'm setting up my life in a way where I'm really going to be at my computer, like sitting down for like an hour or two a day. No, 4 hours a day probably. 4 hours a day I'm going to be on my computer, but then I'm really going to have non-sedentary activity integrated into like almost everything I do. I have more notes on things I want to meditate on, but I'll get to that at a different time. All right. I feel ready enough to take hold of the day.